Hey everybody, I'm Saratoga, and today I want to have more of a casual conversation with you guys. Doesn't it seem sometimes like the whole world is just going crazy? I mean, like things are just going crazy. Look at 2020. I mean, right out of the gate, we're hearing about World War III, and then we have fires in Australia. We have all kinds of political unrest, and now we have this coronavirus. I mean, this is all in just over a month. So why am I bringing this up? It's because there's a collective energy with all of this stuff going on. And if you're not consciously aware, you may not realize that we're basically living in a collective sea of anxiety, of energy, of fear and uncertainty and all of that. So I wanted to make this little short video for you guys to help you learn to be more centered and keep your inner peace. Because if you guys remember, I told you about 2020 earlier on, that this ascension energy was only going to intensify and get stronger. That's just going to cause things to come into almost like an appearance of breakdown on a lot of different levels, so that something new can emerge. So it's really important that those of us who are light workers, starseeds, undergoing a spiritual awakening, that we maintain our center, maintain our peace, our calm, our groundedness, and most of all, our clarity. So I'm going to share with you guys a little tip. It's not so little, it's actually a big deal, but it's what I do. I want to share it with you that will really make a huge difference. Now, this is really about consciousness and context, and you might even say mindset. So guys, here's what you need to do if you want to try this. And I recommend that you actually consider living from this place, because it's going to help you not get your energy caught up in all of this chaos or pandemonium. So here's what you need to do. Step back away from planet Earth. That's what I call having an extraterrestrial perspective, meaning not non-terrestrial, not a terrestrial perspective, but an extraterrestrial, meaning step back. You know how when you step back from something, you can see more of it, right? So we want to be able to see more of the planet. We want to be able to see more of what's going on. Now, this is specifically energetically. This is not needing to know like every single detail of what's happening on planet Earth, but it's more about an energetic shift. So when you allow yourself, and you can do this because we are infinite creators, right? You can step back from planet Earth and imagine that now you're seeing the whole planet from a distance. You're not caught up in the energy of what's going on here. You're actually beyond the energy. You're transcendent of that energy. That's what I mean by an extraterrestrial context. Now, that's the first thing you want to do, but you're still going to be kind of caught in it, because you're going to be like, yeah, but I'm still a part of all that stuff going on planet Earth. So here's what you want to do next. Let's call it Let's Pretend. Okay, it's kind of like a pretend game. So here's what you do next. I want you to pretend that you are an extraterrestrial being who has come from a realm, a planet, a star system where everything is beautiful, everything is peaceful, everything is in harmony. It's an amazing place. Guys, if you're a starseed, you don't have to imagine this, do you? Because you know for a fact that you do come from such a place, right? Or you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be here to help. Use your imagination. If it doesn't feel real, just pretend. So imagine you are this extraterrestrial being, and you can pretend you're in a spaceship if you want to, if that makes it easier. And you're just kind of cruising through the universe, cruising through the galaxy, through the interdimensional space of the omniverse, and you come across planet Earth. And you say, that's an interesting place. And then you look at it and you're like, whoa, that's really strange what's going on there. There's all kinds of strife and division and conflict and pain and suffering. And what is all that about? Now, I know that might sound silly to some of you guys, but let me explain why this works. It shifts your center out of the chaos. It shifts your center of being out of the duality back into a state of oneness and wholeness. Now, let me give you guys another example. Did you guys ever see the movie Star Trek or the TV series about Star Trek? You know, Captain Kirk and Spock and all those guys, right? Those guys were, you know, going through the universe, and they would go to a planet to help, right? Usually for a positive, benevolent reason. However, picture this, you guys. Now, just think in terms of a TV series, okay, where I think it started off like, I don't know, once a week TV series or something, and then they made it into movies. Imagine if Captain Kirk and the crew went to a planet that was in trouble, and as soon as they got there, they just completely succumbed. They just forgot who they were. They just got completely wrapped up in it, totally didn't even remember where they came from, and that was it. They just became a part of the problem, right? Well, you know what would have happened, guys? That would have been the end of the series. There would have been like one show and it would have been over. It'd be like, oh, well, they went to planet X or planet Y or whatever the planet was, and they succumbed, and that's the end of the story. Do we really want that to be our story too? Do we really want to live that as Starseeds, Lightworkers, beings undergoing a spiritual awakening? I don't think that's really why we're here. I don't think we came here to just become a part of the chaos, a part of the fear, a part of all this junk. So, you know, sometimes you just have to use your imagination to shift your consciousness to a place where you can be more clear, more empowered, and more centered. Now, it's a little more difficult for those of us here on Earth because we're in these earth-based bodies, right? And these physical bodies are a part of this finite physical world and the duality of this world. And yes, our bodies, our whole systems, physical, mental, and emotional, get caught up in all of the stress, the strife, the anxiety, and the fear, right? So here's another little imaginary thing that you can do that will help you with this, because actually it's kind of true, okay? So what you can do is imagine that your physical body is like your spacesuit. In other words, you need this particular spacesuit in order to be functional in this dimension on this planet. I know that might sound silly, but I'm telling you guys, if you just do these very simple little imaginary images and put them in your mind, and then, you know, you might actually, especially if you're a starseed, guys, you might get a weird feeling of resonance, like, oh, that's kind of weird. That almost feels real to me. Let me tell you the truth. It feels real to me. That's how it feels to me. You guys are welcome to try that on and see if you find that helpful. And if not, that's okay too. But what it will do is it will expand your consciousness. It will immediately connect you to a higher realm of reality. Now, you know, if this sounds like just way too outlandish and your ego is saying, hey, you know, don't be ridiculous, that's just dumb, that couldn't be true, what's the alternative? The alternative is to just stay a part of all the stress and strife and fear and anxiety and constantly feel like you're battling that all the time. But at some point, Lightworkers, Starseeds, guys, at some point, we have to make this real for ourselves. We can't just keep making it some abstract, hypothetical, maybe I'm this, maybe I'm that, who knows? We have to really be these beings who have come here to make a positive difference in terms of the situation on this earth. We have to be able to act upon that. And it's very, very difficult to act upon that if you think you're a part of it, because you kind of get just swallowed up by it, and then your life becomes an effort to just battle through it and somehow survive. So I'm bringing all of this up now because I really think we're at a crossroads. Lightworkers and Starseeds, we are at a crossroads. This situation on this planet is only going to intensify because the ascension energy is intensifying. And the more that it intensifies, the more you might start seeing more breakdown, more acceleration of just all of this stuff being so stirred up and people not being able to cope and people having lots and lots of trouble with this massive change that our planet is going through. So it's really time to make a real decision within yourself. Am I finally going to live my life from who I really am and understand that I'm here to make the difference and act upon that purpose and that mission? But it's going to be very difficult to feel empowered in your mission, empowered in your purpose, unless you have perspective. You need an empowered perspective. So that's really what I'm offering you here today. Using your imagination to start. You can try this on. If it starts to kind of resonate with you on some level, it's okay for it to be real, guys. It doesn't have to be just a fictitious story. Maybe you really did come here from somewhere else that is beautiful, that is amazing, that is what you truly resonate with. Maybe you actually came here from somewhere else in order to bring that energy and that consciousness onto this planet Earth. Because if we don't do this, what are we left with? We're left with a whole bunch of people that are just like freaking out, right? And if all you have is a planet of people just freaking out, that's not real productive, is it? So just to review, step back from the Earth so you see the whole Earth. You sense the vibration of the entire planet. Imagine you're a visitor here from somewhere else that is beautiful, it is perfect, that is awesome and wonderful the way that your heart knows life is meant to be. And now you're observing all of this chaos, all of this fear, anxiety, division, duality, and you're saying, okay, I'm coming here to make a difference. I'm coming here to bring the frequency, the vibration, and the energy of that beautiful place from which I came. Be like those guys in the Star Trek movies. You know, they don't go to a planet and forget who they are. They go to a planet and they maintain themselves and they fulfill their purpose and they fulfill their mission. Well, that's what we're supposed to be doing ourselves. So I hope that inspires you. I hope that helps you guys. And if you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, because I have lots and lots of videos designed to support and guide you on your spiritual awakening, your Lightworker and your Starseed journey, so that we can all come together and fulfill our purpose and our mission for why we came to this beautiful planet Earth. And leave me a comment below and let me know what you think about what I've said here. I'd just like to know if any of this resonates with you, if you're going to try this, if you already feel this, perhaps you've already thought about this yourself. And with that, I'm sending you loads of love, light, and positive energy. Have a beautiful day. I'll talk to you guys next time. Namaste.